Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called The Endless Sea by Chai Tai and illustrated by Lin Dao. This is a story of one family, a family that was luckier than many, but who also struggled through a lot of hardship in order to find their way from a troubled land to a new one. Even though the war has ended, for a little girl, life is not the same. Her family is treated differently as a result of the conclusion of the war, and they worry for their lives and their safety every day. Luckily, they are able to sell their possessions in order to procure enough money for the trip to their new home, but that trip is not easy. And as they worry once again for their safety on the boat, they're not sure if they're going to ultimately make it to their destination. But as they are the lucky ones, they find themselves on a larger boat and ultimately in a new homeland where they need to set new roots down, where they will feel a little bit safer than they were before. This story is about the author's true life story, coming from Vietnam to the UK, and the struggles that were met along the way. It's told in a very poetic style, not a whole lot of text, but a lot of emotion worked into the story. Because the story itself is about a very challenging situation, it's reflected in both the text and in the illustrations. And while some readers may not have experienced similar things themselves, they'll recognize emotions that are felt here around the world, even in the present day. The story has a lot of elements that may need to be discussed in further detail outside of the text. So especially for younger readers who may not understand exactly what's going on, there's opportunity for caregivers to share a bit more detail. And readers are going to really love getting to see all of the detail in these illustrations, the difference between the landscape of the child's homeland and the landscape of their new home, and what that might be like to find themselves in a place that is so different. And what really matters in the grand scheme when they do actually still have their family all together. So there are beautiful end papers worked into this as well, and a really intense depth to the story that is far beyond just the text. And the text and the illustrations work well together to describe that story in a way that is resonant and memorable for readers of all ages. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.